Fitbit has been updating the Versa 2 with new features ever since its launch in 2019. New features like the smart alarm and additional always-on watch faces didn't seem enough for the company, so the latest update brings an oxygen level monitor that monitors blood oxygen levels while you sleep. After the launch of Fitbit's first smartwatch, the Ionic, the company struggled to compete with the likes of the Apple Watch and dedicated running watches from Garmin. Then, along came the Fitbit Versa and it turned the company fortunes around. So no wonder Fitbit quickly followed that up with a cheaper, more pared-back Versa Lite smartwatch while also refining the original Versa into a much-improved Versa 2. With its newest wearable, Fitbit has again proved that you don't necessarily need top-notch features to make a terrific fitness watch, and it doesn't need to burn a hole in your wallet. Unlike most other smartwatches on the market, the Versa 2 isn't looking to replace your phone. In fact, you could call it a dumbed-down version of a smartwatch, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing. The Versa 2 is squarely aimed at users keen on fitness rather than those seeking productivity from a wearable, making it an extension of Fitbit's excellent fitness tracker range, but one that comes with some extra perks. While health and activity tracking takes center stage, the Versa 2 bridges the gap between phone and wrist by offering message and calendar notifications, ways to control your smart home setup and play music from your phone while on a run or workout session. Fitbit Versa 2 price and release date: launch price of $199.99/329 Australian dollars. Special edition Versa 2 costs $229.99/379 Australian dollars. Fitbit announced the Versa 2 on August 28 ahead of IFA 2019, where the company showed the device off to the public for the first time. The Versa 2 is available to buy now, and you can pick it up from Fitbit's website or from major retailers either in store or online. The Fitbit Versa 2 costs $99.99/$199.95/329.95 Australian dollars. Although there is a special edition version that retails for $229.95/19.99/379 Australian dollars and comes with either a mist grey or copper rose chassis and a premium woven band in the box. At launch, the price of the Versa 2 matched that of its predecessor in the US and UK, but it a tad higher in Australia and is roughly on par with the price of the Apple Watch Series 3 inches. Most regions. Purchasing a Versa 2 will also get you a 7-day free trial of Fitbit Premium, the company new subscription fitness service. Those treating themselves to the special edition Versa 2 will, however, get a 90-day free trial of Fitbit Premium. More on this feature later. Design and display retains Coracle design. New always-on AMOLED display. Single button. When it comes to the design, Fitbit mantra seems to be one of "F it ain't broke, don't fix it." The Coracle design of the Apple Watch and the original Versa seems to have been embraced by users, and Fitbit has carried that on to the Versa 2. At first glance, the new fitness watch does look strikingly similar to its predecessor, but closer inspection reveals a few small tweaks, giving the Versa 2 a very stylish look indeed. With a depth of 0.47 inches 12 mm, it only a tiny bit thicker than the Apple Watch 3, but since the chassis tapers inward toward the heart monitor underneath, it actually appears slimmer, and, with a screen size of 40 mm, it should fit most wrists. Thankfully, Fitbit has removed its branding from the bottom bezel of the Versa, meaning the bezels on the Versa 2 are slightly thinner, giving you a tad more screen real estate than before. While the display black background is usually quite successful at disguising the bezels, they are quite obvious at some angles, albeit easy to ignore. Where the original Versa had 3 buttons on the chassis, 2 on the left and 1 on the right, the Versa 2 sports just a single button on the left and serves as both the elect and the act button. This means you never more than a press or 2 away from the feature you need to access, while any other navigation you need to perform is done via the touch screen. Talking about the screen, that's the one major hardware improvement worth writing home about. Unlike the LCD display on the Versa, the second-generation Fitbit smartwatch has steps into the age of the bright AMOLED touchscreen, which is protected by Gorilla Glass 3. It's capable of hitting upwards of 1000 nits of brightness, although we found this to be actually too bright for general use, setting our Versa 2 to the lowest brightness setting permanently. Even at AM setting, the 300x300 resolution screen is crisp and, thanks to its ambient light sensor, is capable of adjusting brightness according to the environment you are in. Another important feature Fitbit has added to the Versa 2 is an always-on option. By default, this option is switched off and you will need to go into the watch settings pane to change that selection. At launch, there were no customization options for the always-on watch face and, until now, was limited to a single default analog or digital option. However, a new firmware update has now added plenty of third-party always-on faces, some of which can be customized. They're available on the companion app, although most of them are paid options, with only a few free watch faces available. If you prefer using the always-on display after all, it's nice to be able to see the watch face without having to move your arm. You'll find that it cuts the battery life to about half. Interface and performance: faster processor, easy to use interface. Fitbit Pay works well. 5+ days battery life. Visual satisfaction aside, the Versa 2 is a faster watch than its predecessor, thanks to a new processor under the hood. That not to say the original Versa suffered from any lag or performance issues, but if you used it before and upgraded to the Versa 2, you will notice a marked difference in operational smoothness. Navigating between pages, launching and closing apps, and bringing up new health data in the Today pane accessed by swiping upward on the screen is quicker than before. Like all other Fitbit devices, the Versa 2 has a pretty decent battery life. Fitbit claims you can get 5 days with standard use. We managed to push it to just over 6 days, but that was perhaps because we had the screen brightness dimmed to the lowest setting. Considering the first thing you see when you raise your wrist is the watch face, it's nice to know there are hundreds of designs to choose from, which you can find via the Fitbit app. However, when the Versa 2 launched in September 2019, you could rather annoyingly only save a single watch face at a time. That meant that every time you wanted a change, you'd have to return to the store, scroll through the options and select the one you want. Saving the new one meant the previous option would get deleted. Thankfully that has changed, with the December 2019 firmware updated to the smartwatch, ensuring you can now save up to 5 different watch faces, even paid for ones, at any given time and cycle between them. If, however, you like a 6th one, you'll be sacrificing one of the saved options on the Fitbit app. To access the app launcher, you swipe from right to left, with 4 app shortcuts listed on each page. These can be rearranged to your liking by lightly pressing and hold till their haptic feedback. For a quick look at how you fared today, just swipe up to launch Fitbit Today data. This pane displays up to 7 items of your choosing and can include total steps, steps per hour, heart rate, sleep stats, and food and water intake. This customization can be done via the Versa 2 settings app. Swipe down and you get access to notifications and, by default, you can access quick settings, music controls and Fitbit Pay. Quick settings allows you to toggle the do not disturb, sleep mode, always on display, screen brightness. Only 3 options to choose from: dim, normal and max, and screen wake auto or manual options. Fitbit is quick to point out that the Spotify app ships with the Versa 2, but it is important to note that the app can only act as a remote, controlling the music playing the Spotify app running on your phone. As such, you won't be able to just use the Versa 2 to listen to offline Spotify playlists, although Deezer and Pandora are capable of doing so. You can, however, add music files of your own to the device, with 2.5 gigabytes reserved for local music storage. The lack of a GPS chip can be a deal breaker for many. Every time you go for a run, walk or bike ride, you will have to take your phone with you for location information. And if you are planning on getting yourself a Versa 2 and toting your phone along wherever you go, then perhaps you won't have a chance to complain about the lack of offline Spotify support on the Versa 2. To keep tabs on your fitness, you only need to select the exercise app on the watch and choose the type of activity you are about to indulge in. If you don't, the wearable is smart enough to log any activity as exercise at 20 minutes or longer thanks to Fitbit's Smart Track technology. Sleep tracking, though, is done automatically. If you happen to be an iPhone user, you will not be able to respond to messages directly from the Versa 2. Android users can, although there is a massive caveat. There are currently only 5 default quick replies to choose from, although these can be customized in the Fitbit app. The all-in-one button on the Versa 2 can be long pressed to bring up either Alexa or on voice command integration later or Fitbit Pay. If your bank supports Fitbit Pay, then we recommend you use the button for contactless payments as, in our experience, interacting with Alexa can be quite inconvenient.